And we are live. Hello everyone, this is the Void Executive, and oops, something is wrong, let me fix it. Why is it doing? Okay, there we go. This is the Void Executive, and welcome to the stream. Hello, welcome. How is everyone doing? How has the week been treating you so far? For me, it's chill as usual. Today we are going to continue the work we started on Monday, which is continue with the project, with the main project, and potentially finish the current version of the supplicant character. How have you been? All good, thank you. Today it's going to be another very chill stream, nothing too special happening, but I have a feeling that we may be able to conclude this current version of the supplicant, but I don't know, I cannot be 100% sure because something may come up as we try to draw it, but there's only one way to find out. Quite tired, but in a good way. Good to know yours has been overall calm. Thank you. Okay, so let's show immediately our current progress. So in the last stream we finished this version over here, and then we started with the next one, which is this one over here. For those who are new to the channel, this is part of an ongoing project that we've been working on since the start of this channel, which is almost 2 months by now. And we're basically creating assets for a mod for a game that's currently on Steam. It's a strategy game, and it involves eldritch gods, eldritch beings, and stuff like that. Those lights are insanely good, thank you. With this one, it's been particularly easy because the different elements are very simple, but we need to add some additional elements because basically the way it works is we've been doing different variations of the same god, which is this one here, and now we are creating their minion equivalent. So for instance, let me grab some other examples that I've made. This is the very first one we made. This is the main god, and this is its minion counterpart. This is the main god, this is its minion counterpart. We are reaching the finish line for this project. The main art has been done and finished. Now we are doing in these streams secondary art, which in which case this is for character portraits essentially. Red minion, yeah. So for those who are new, oops, let me show you how it will look like in the game itself. So this is the interface of the game. It's a strategy game, and what we are creating right now are portraits that will appear over here. Every time we finish a portrait, we place it in here to test how readable it is. And given this this way in which it's going to be portrayed, we need to take some artistic and stylistic choices. For instance, we don't need to add a ton of detail or a ton of elements because most of it will be lost anyway, since the image will be this size, which is very small. So last time we started with this one. I've only made like a sketch and a rough estimation of the light. We'll need to, I think today we'll start working on the fleshy parts, which I have over here they need some rework, of course. Thank you. So I'd say let me turn off this intro music and get in the mood with a more appropriate background. There we go. There we go. So for those who are new, this version in particular is for this god, which is called the Lady of the Autumn Rot. So when I made the design of this one, I played with the design, trying to follow the name, which in my opinion had two opposite concepts. Like when you think of the term lady, you imagine something graceful and elegant, and then when you imagine rot, you imagine something gross and disgusting. So I tried to make a design that fits kind of both types. And here we need to more or less establish something similar, although with less detail, both because this one is supposed to be a minion of this one, so it should have less detail by default, and then because the image will be very, very small. So yeah, let's start. Let's work with the meat. I think we need to maybe... I have my references on my on another window to see what we can work with. Maybe try to make something more unique, but I think we can try and start experimenting. Now for this one I want to give it some sort of meaning into the shapes of this meat, so I think I will do some modifications. Okay. There we go. I'm not sure about this area over here. I think I will leave it separate for the moment and turn it off. I was thinking of like making as if it bursts open from this side. There we go. Let me change it. There we go. I think for this one, let me see if I can... I think I'll do the same thing that I did over here for the meat. Which was do some rough shading like over here, and then apply like a meat texture to give it more to give it a bit more realistic look, although it's not, I don't think it's strictly necessary. It looks oddly feminine, and that's because I took some inspiration from the type of clothing that nuns usually wear. I mean, yeah, it's the supplicant of a lady, So supposedly it should be something lady coded, let's say. I'm trying to make it so follows the light a little bit. We don't need to be extra precise, but just enough to give that idea. If you see me zooming out from time to time, it's because it's very important to see the totality of the image and see how well each element interacts with the rest of the piece. Because trying to work too much on the details, then you forget everything else, and you don't know if it whatever you are doing in the details would work in the overall picture. I think over here I will add some blood stains, but for that I think I will use a different type of brush. Let me see if I can find it. Not really, not this one. This one. Maybe this one? I think I will do it. Oh, maybe I found it. Nope. Every time I always forget which one it was. I have way too many brushes. And most of them I don't even use them, but sometimes for some specific occasions there is like one brush among the collection that does the job right. I think it was something that was very similar to this one. I can find it. Well, I'll search for it later. We don't have to waste time trying to find this one. Although I was thinking that maybe we could try to select some other areas to add the meaty areas. Maybe something over here. Down here I don't think it's necessary. Although I think I will add some here. Then I lock the layer so I can go crazy without going out of bounds. And then do the same thing that we did over here. Trying to make sense of the different shapes and lights and shadows. Maybe add some slight shading as well. Now, we need to do this step that really makes this part shine, which is we go back to the clothing part and we simply add some proper shadows, something like so. And try to make them match the shape of the growth. Do something over here as well. Doesn't have to be too much in these parts because we need to remember that it's flesh that's coming out of the fabric, so we'll need to also do some changes and tear the fabric in order to give it that idea. In the meantime, I think we can rotate the image, and which will allow us to notice some mistakes that we haven't noticed before by some sort of refreshing the eyes. And I think this shadow needs to be a bit smaller. Okay, let's see before and after. That's something I think it's very important to do. Is the advantage of drawing into newer layers is that you can always compare to what you had previously. Flash that's coming out. I genuinely thought for a second that their brain melted or something. Yeah, I need to give that impression a bit better, but in due time. It became soup and came out of her head. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe her brain is all mush. Although I think we can do something like so. We grab this the same pitch black of the face over here, and maybe try and do something of this nature. Now I am experimenting a little bit. see how it looks like in terms of values. It doesn't look that great, so let me redo it. Because if we watch over here, it's simply something as if it's grown over it. Maybe instead we can do something like something above the meat. Maybe. Okay, I think we are getting somewhere. Let's see. It's not convincing me too much. Yeah, part of the process is try new things, see what works, make the appropriate changes, remove what doesn't work. In a way, doing art is also lots of problem solving. Because when you imagine things and then you try to actually create them, that's a very different story. Usually the imagination plays a lot of tricks on you. It makes things easier than what they actually are. And that's something we need to avoid getting caught off guard by. Although I do think that the addition of these shadows improved the piece. I think we still have lots of improvements. Let me try and find the texture of the meat so we can already try and see if it changes some things. Let me see if I can find the same one that I used to have. Meat texture. It was something like... let's grab some generic meat. Let's try with this one over here. Now it has some watermarks. Let me simply remove some. The problem with the free images on the internet. But none of this will be visible anyway. So what we are going to do is overlay it on the meat layer, and then use some blending modes to see what can work. I don't remember which one I used when I made something similar for this particular area, but I guess we can check. Maybe if I make it in black and white, let's see how well it serves. I think overlay works best. It gives that extra grittiness. Then we can always adjust down here the different shadows. But at least the texture will remain the same. And another cool thing about the texture is that we can shade what's underneath by following the overall shapes of the image that we took. Again, doesn't have to be anything too crazy in terms of shading. Let me see how it looks like with only the values. Oh yeah, another thing that I think it's necessary to do is... I need to sneeze. Not a napkin. Drawing digital is so not easier, but I kind of like it. A second. Apologies. I've been sneezing quite a lot today. Okay. I mean, there are some pros and cons. But I think that overall, compared to drawing on canvas, it is easier, I'd say. Like, if you want to get really good at drawing, at painting normally, you either need to be a prodigy or dedicate a lot of time and resources as well. One of the main reasons I personally prefer digital drawing over traditional drawing is you don't have to worry too much about buying pencils and the type of paper and the type of paint. They need to be of a certain brand, they need to be of a certain quality. Let's say that digital painting is much more accessible. You sneezed and the stream crashed. Wait. Okay. You gave me a heart attack. Is the stream okay? It should be okay. Let me double check. Okay. Should be working. Okay, let me know if there is any problem. Otherwise, my sneezes cause EMP blast to my computer. It's a bit slow, but I think it's my internet. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so let me apply now. I'll show you what I am about to do. Okay, so this is the meat texture, right? But it's obviously a photo and you can tell by it. Even if you apply the filters, you can tell that it has way more detail than the rest of the piece. Not really because the rest is not as detailed in terms of brushes, which is true, but also because this is a real photo compared to something with the brushes. So what I like to usually do, first let me fix something because I noticed that. Okay, there we go. One thing that I like to do when implementing a photo in a drawing that has many visible brush strokes, in order to avoid having these two different elements clash with each other, is try to simplify the image that I imported. So now I will apply filter that will simplify the edges in order to make them look more coherent with the rest of the image. So let me do it. So first, if first it looked like this with all of the details, now I apply this filter and it looks more like this, which it's a subtle difference, but the result will be much better in my opinion. And then we can work a bit more with the details over here. And now if we do the before and after, it's a totally different result. I need to steal your knowledge for my drawings. Oh, if you want to know some tips about something in particular, you're very welcome to do so. And if it helps you, I try to regularly upload YouTube shorts which have some drawing tips. So I think this will be most helpful. If you like the shorts that I make, in which I give some drawing tips, it would really help me if any of you guys want me to talk about something in particular in those shorts. So maybe if you'd go like in the comments and say, hey, could you I've been trying to do X, Y, and Z. Would you cover it in the next short? And I would gladly do it. Now, because for real world, feed me more of your knowledge. I am really happy to help you guys. I have seen some, those are really good, thank you. But yeah, if anytime you have some doubts about something and you want to know my opinion on it, feel free to let me know, because those can be a great opportunity for me to make new shorts and show you some tips and tricks that I have. It's something that I've seen that I've seen other creators do as well. For example, when I make the shorts, I use this program. It's a free program called DaVinci Resolve. It's an editing program, nothing too fancy about it. But I'm still very new to this. And so there is this channel which shorts are all about tips and tricks on how to do specific things on that program. I was thinking of doing something very similar, but with drawing tips. Okay, I think with the meat we can stop it right there for a moment. Now, I was thinking of developing more this cloth section. And to be more precise, I think I want to add some... Wait, first let me get rid of certain parts of the sketch which I don't think are necessary. There we go. I want to add something similar to the golden decorations here. Something minor, maybe not too fancy, but something that will be present nonetheless, because right now it's just a giant blob of it's not crimson, but it's this violet with some red blobs. So we need to do a little bit more than that. Also, wait, let me do something even in this area. Is it this one? Yes, okay. Maybe I could just slightly increase over here, maybe. Maybe just this side. Let's see how well it may look. Of course, here it needs to be darker because there is the gold over here. Same over here, I think. Oh. And over here as well. Then let's see. Let me see if I can make some additional lighting in this area. Maybe not make this part as dark. Something like okay. And then there we go. Maybe something like this. The darker tone over here, maybe. Let me grab one of my references. Yeah, I think I need to be a bit more detailed in this section. Maybe this darkened area can be something over here. Now I'm just trying to see what can work and what doesn't. Okay. Let's see the before and after. a bit better, but we can do better. Let me turn off the meat for a moment. And the shadows over here. Oops. Okay. Maybe this area needs to be a bit darker. Let's see. I think with this area needs to be not as dark. Be a bit more generous with the lighting. And here, let me try something with the smudge tool. Need to remember that this area should be the brightest one. Okay. Oh, by the way, last stream we had one person who had some words auto-blocked by YouTube. Now it shouldn't be that way. I think now you should be able to see most of the messages that you want to write. Because I don't remember what the conversation was, but he wanted to mention power creep, and apparently the word creep was one that got auto-modded by YouTube. Now it should be okay, because the important words that I want them flagged, they are on a separate list, so it should be all fine now. The list of the banned words is mostly from it's something you'd expect from bots, like click this link, or free viewers, or free money, stuff like that. Sometimes I still get those messages, but it's mostly on Twitch rather than YouTube. Okay, let me see if I can try to, because I want to avoid having like this button right here. That's a bit too It doesn't give away the... It's not really how fabric works, at least not how I want it to behave. So maybe I could try and do... Okay, let me remove, duplicate, and redo it. Sometimes it's a better option to do just that. We have something like this. And okay. Then maybe something like so. Then another shadow over here. Okay, okay. We are getting somewhere, I think. Then maybe over here add... Yes, I think we are getting somewhere. Okay. Then here slightly darker. There we go. I think we are slowly obtaining a much better result. Light comes from over here, so here should be slightly darker. There we go. Hello, Alice. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay, yeah, I think this effect is much better in terms of how the shadows should behave when talking about clothing. If we do the before and after, we went from this to this, which is already a great improvement. Now, I think we need to fix this area over here a little bit. Because, oh, not sure why the music stopped. There we go. Okay. I think I do something like, let me see, something like this. I was about to ask about the music. It was just so pragmatic there in Silas. Ooh, ominous, ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure why it just stopped. It's supposed to have this playlist that plays random songs that I have added. But I don't know. Sometimes it just does things. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, because now that we have some better clothing pattern, now we can turn on the meat once again. Wait, I think I did that. An oopsie. Okay. So now we can turn on the meat, the shadows on the meat. Now we need to modify some of the meat in order to make it consistent with the folds that we have created. For example, this one can be maybe placed here. Then we'll do the same for the shadow. Same for this little piece over here. Maybe we bring it over here. There we go. Let's remove it where not necessary. Let me fix something real quick. There we go. Okay. Now, what I think I'll do is work a little bit here with the shadows, although it will be something very, very minor. me do it right away, because most of these won't be visible anyway. So it will be something very very subtle. Mostly have this shadowy area with some hint of folds, but nothing too crazy. Okay, let me fix something. There we go. And here try to make some very rough shapes, although I think we can remove the sketch in this area as well. There we go. And try to do the same thing. Same over here. Okay, let's save and let's flip the image once more. Because now I think we can start searching for these types of decorations. So what I'm going to do is switch over to Pinterest so I can show you guys my research and show you guys which images we'll be choosing and show you the method. Honestly, I dig both music and silent background, both fits the style. Yeah, I mostly prefer with something in the background because that's how I usually draw on my own as well. If it's not music in the background, it's usually like a podcast or a debate. Salutations, boss. I'm giving a quick hi before going back to work. Hey, welcome to the stream. Happy that you managed to come and say hi from Twitch. I need to sneeze again. My apologies. It's taking a while. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, now let me set up so I can show you the page. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we'll need to find some general decorations and we'll use photo bashing to implement them. So we can try with all the decorations. Something like that, but not 3D. We'll if we find the shape that we like, we may use it, but we'll make it totally flat. You sure you didn't get any boogers on the mic? That was a really hard sneeze. Oh, I suppressed it and I used my my tissue. Let's see what we can find. Golden decorations. Loading. Let's see if we find some interesting results. Maybe something very flat like this one, because then it will be easier to modify. Even though we might go for a very simple look. Okay, let me switch back quickly on the piece. Okay, what I think I will do is create a new layer, choose this generic color, then we'll do the shading later. And I think I'm going to make some areas something like this. Or maybe something like this. Let's see. Okay. Because then we can add the different decorations later, but now I want to establish the areas in which we'll apply them, so we can already check how much weight these extra decorations have compared to the rest of the piece. Maybe we won't even need to add these decorations over here, because after all this is still a minion and we don't want to make it too similar to the main god. It has to give the idea that it belongs to the god, but it shouldn't have the same amount of detail and elements. Yeah, so something maybe like this, and then very subtle like this. And then you can already tell how big of a difference these two lines make when added. If before here it wasn't really unclear, now it definitely is. I need to remove some parts of the sketch which are kinda in the way. Like so. Yeah, maybe we won't even need to add these decorations. Or if we'll do maybe something very simple like over here. Let's see what images we can find. Yeah, maybe something as simple as this one. It's small. I think it will work just fine. Now I only need to separate the element from its background. that we can do easily. Let's remove these other sections. Let's clean up some parts, because the selection is not very precise, because this is the pretty low resolution image. Let's make a copy just in case. Then we can warp it to our liking. Let's see how well it looks this way. There we go. Let's make it this same color. Maybe it's a bit too large. Let's make it very small. I don't really like the shape that I gave, so let's try this again. Can be maybe something like so. Then we merge them, make them this color, adjust it so it kind of follows the flow. Maybe we don't even need to fill it like this. Okay, let's first change them like this. Make a copy just in case. And then we make it the same color. Something like this, but yeah, no, I think it's best if it's just this color over here. It's going to be very small regardless, but I don't like how there's this many gaps, so I think I will cover some of them. Try to simplify the design. That's part of photo bashing, so it's not merely copy and pasting images, but we use them as a base to then develop an appropriate look for whatever we are trying to make. That pose, my shaky ass hands could never. What do you mean by pose? You mean in the background songs? Or... I'm not sure what you mean. Or do you mean this work with the details? I mean, here I'm kinda going too much into detail because most of this won't even be as visible anyway, but let me do some changes over here. What if I just remove this? I mean, like, you know how you can do a straight line without it looking trashy? That's what I mean. My language is called Pulso. Okay. So you mean the steadiness of the hand. I mean, Photoshop has some tools that will help you. If you see up here, there is this setting called smoothing. At the moment, it's at 10%, so look how I try to do it. If I try to do a straight line and go very slow, you see how it's shaky overall, right? If I turn it up all the way to 100%, it makes it much smoother, but you will have it restricts the movement of the brush. If I do 0% and I do something like this, you can see how it's not perfect. Or to be more precise, if you want to be perfect without any smoothing, you need to do quick movements. But even when I'm trying, you can see how this is not a perfect curve. If I turn the smoothing all the way up, I can even go slower, but you can see how it's a little bit better. But for what I'm doing, I keep it very low because it's not necessary. It can be very useful when you do line art and stuff like that. Yeah, no problem. I usually keep it between 10 and 30%. But that's simply a matter of preference. There is no golden rule that dictates the right percentage. It's all a matter of taste at the end of the day. Yeah, I think we can leave it at that. Now, what we're going to do is first merge this one with this one over here. And then try to polish over here, especially this side. Remove even more parts of the sketch, because as we continue we won't need these sketchy areas, because sometimes the sketch still overlaid can be a bit deceiving. By removing it, you can already notice some things that require some changes. For instance, here I think we need a bigger shadow in this section. Something like so. And then, okay, let's clean up this one a little bit. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be at least decent. And then we simply lock it, grab a very wide brush, and shade it where necessary. We'll sample this same shading from here to make things easier. And then the highlight on this side. Middle ground over here, darker as it gets more in shadow. And maybe add an even more darker area for the very bottom part. And now this is before and this is after. Already looks very, very nice. Which brings us to... Oh, let me save, just in case. This part down here, I think it requires some love and attention. Yes, over here. Let's see how it looks like without this sketch. Okay. Down here we don't need to do very much, but we can do a bare minimum. I think this one is already reaching a conclusion. Now it's only a matter of polishing the different elements. But other than that, I think the main elements are there. We don't need to add any more. Okay. Let me flip the image once again, and since we are halfway through the stream, I will take a small break, mostly to get some water, go take a piss, the usual stuff. So I'll be right back in a few minutes. In the meantime, enjoy the background noises. Be right back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. There we go. The go take a piece away gets me. I say it because otherwise it would be weird. Someone would say, why is it taking so long to just drink some water? So, at least the public knows why I am away for a certain amount of time. Plus, it's something pretty normal. So, now that we are looking at the almost complete image, let's see how well this one looks in black and white. Just say going to the bathroom. It's okay. Let's see how well this one... Okay, let me first... Yeah, how well this one looks in terms of values, and then make a comparison with the others that we made. Oops. To see if the values are okay or if they need some brighter or darker areas. I feel like the fabric needs to be brighter. The fabric and the meat, I believe. Yeah, just a little bit. There isn't much contrast over here. Like there is, but not enough. Okay. So, what we are going to do is... First, I don't know if this part is necessary. The meat over here, it's not as visible. Okay, let's try and make the clothing a bit brighter first. Let's duplicate, plot kit, grab our brush, and then go very light with the color dodge filter. Yeah, not like that. Oh yeah, I have... Okay, now the smoothing is okay. I'm not sure why it's going so slow. Okay. Let's verify. Let's see the... Oops. The before and after. Okay, it's a little bit better, I think. Although I do believe that over here I want to extend a little bit the area in which the golden decoration is present. Oh, Heavy7, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. And most importantly, welcome to the company. We are about to finish this character over here. We are doing the finishing touches before checking out how this one will look like when in its proper place. Just adjust a few things. What's this part over here? Okay. Okay, and then let's do these very small adjustments. Which are very minor, but important nonetheless. Okay, now should we make the midsection a bit brighter? I think we need to work a little bit more. So let's go over here. And start working. Oops. Maybe with some multiply. We artists always have this thing to say, details are important. Then, when we are done, we don't even remember those details exist. I mean, details can be a very generic term. It really depends on your playstyle. For someone who does simpler drawings, for them details, for their equivalent of details would be maybe for someone like me, like not even details. It's really a matter of perspective, I think. Why didn't anything change color and not them lizards stop changing colors? Yeah, I noticed that as well. I don't know. I guess that's a quirk of YouTube. I don't know why it does that. I mean, at least now the name is a bit more readable. It's either YouTube or the program that I use that merges the YouTube and Twitch chat. That could be also the reason. But I'm not really sure. I should check if I can exclude certain colors, because sometimes they are very, very dark and very hard to read the names of. Also the fact that my chat is on a second monitor, but this second monitor is quite small, so if the name is very, very dark, I need to lean in and trying to read the name itself. Okay. Leaning like a grandpa. Yeah, because let's say that my desk is not the most spacious one, so I have everything basically optimized in whatever space there is left. And this tiny monitor, I don't have room for two normal monitors, so I have my main monitor that's directly in front of me, and then I have the second tiny monitor that's below and behind the bigger monitor, kinda against the wall. So I am able to read the messages from my position, but if the name is particularly hard to read, I need to lean in. I'm sorry, I just really like to mess with people. You're not messing with me, it's totally okay. Plus I like having these types of chat. Makes the interactions more enjoyable. It also means that you are enjoying the company and the stream, which is always a good sign. Now I'm working a bit more on the shadows over here. I need to think a bit more about the meat over here, because at this point I'm not sure if I should add it in here or remove it and add more meat on this side. Let's try and make a version without this side over here. And instead add more over here. Another thing I usually like to do with the type of meat is do like a layer above it and add some smaller details like so. In a way also connect the other pieces, which may be a bit more interesting. Because then later we can play around with the shadows over here. Which in fact I think I'm going to do now. We grab the shadows and try to which isn't it's not much, but it really makes the difference. It gives this three-dimensionality. Is that even a word? I don't know. But it can, I think this opens up a few options. For example, If we maybe try to do something like so, maybe. As a non-English speaker, we are allowed to make up words. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, okay, let me do something like this. Yeah, this part over here. There we go. Then we delete over here. And now we work this area a bit more. Now I don't think we need this extra section. I think I like how it looks like over here. Maybe add an area over here. And then add the gross connections with the appropriate shading. And maybe let's make this one multiply with the slight multiply, then we lower the opacity just a little bit. Go back over here. Now let's see with the values. It looks fine, but I think we need to add just the cherry on top for the meat, which is make the meat more loose, more loosened. I think that's the word. So we'll need to make it gross and make it behave like meat in terms of lighting. So something like, let's see. Yeah, something like this. Maybe in another layer. Now this part has always been a bit tricky for me. Not sure why. Let's try using the smudge tool to kinda blur it a little bit. Let me look at some more references. Let me do it again. And then yeah, something like this. Okay, I think I found the way to do it properly. Okay. Okay, it looks gross enough, but I think there's too many highlights everywhere, so I think we'll limit them where it's only necessary. Let's see how it looks like with the before and after. Yeah, I think these highlights work well. However, I still don't think the values are good enough compared with the rest. Let me go back to here. Okay, maybe slightly brighter over here. It's a bit better. This part over here gets too confused. Let me make this area much brighter. A little bit better. For here, we can darken a little bit. Same over here. Let's check the values again. Okay. And I think over here needs to be darker. And even darker. Wait, let me first isolate this area. Okay. Okay, let's try and see the before and after. Yeah, much better. Okay, let me save just in case. And then flip the image. Let's wait until it's saved. Something came up. Let me be right back, just 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's flip the image. Looks nice, but I think the meat needs to be just a little bit brighter. So let's try and do just that. Trying to be let me try maybe with overlay. No. Let's try color dodge, but it's maybe a bit too Right. Or not. Let me lower the opacity a little. Okay. I think that overall we are essentially done with this supplicant over here. The only thing that's left is to create the quote-unquote line art, the glowing line art that will be around it. It's something that I've done to every other version. So basically this line over here, because you will be able to see the shape even in the darker areas where it normally would be confused with the background. Gee man, I'm tired as hell. I give my soul and seize my appetite for coffee right now. My apt, okay. What about you? For the moment I feel quite fine. Even though right now to me it's 10:30 p.m. Still have 1 hour of stream. But yeah, I'm not feeling particularly tired. Even if today, like, I cleaned up my room the entire morning, worked on the most recent YouTube short and uploaded it, but overall I'm feeling okay. So yeah, now we are going to add this line art over here that will separate even more our character from the background. First, let me fix something that I just noticed. It's only a nitpick of mine, but it's really bothering. So something over here, and then this area. Let me fix it. Okay. Now we merge these together. Oh, also, yeah, okay. We duplicate, merge these together, duplicate this one as well, actually add the layer on top of it, and this time we'll make it, okay, first I'll do it with this color and then I will change the color later. There we go. We will be very generic. We don't have to be very detailed, but this will also allow us to spot some inconsistencies and roughness with the overall borders of the character, so we'll need to take this as an opportunity to adjust that as well. Okay. Now here we smooth things out, and say over here. Here I don't think it's necessary. Here, yes, however. And now we change the color of this one. Let me check if I already did this this pink. Yellow, it's more like orange. No, okay. Maybe colorize. Make it very saturated. Yeah, something like that. The alarms in the background makes it look like we are just calmly talking in the middle of the cataclysm. Yeah, this playlist may be a little monotonous, but it's as of now the one which I am 100% guaranteed not to have any copyright claims. Which is, I can't say the same with the chill playlist that I play on the other streams, because every time I see a playlist that says, "Ooh, no copyright, copyright free, royalty free," then once the stream ends, YouTube automatically checks if there is copyrighted materials in the sound, and it detects songs even if in the title they say that they are copyright free. So basically the guy or whoever uploaded the song basically lied by saying, "Oh, this is copyright free." So let's say that these streams are also an opportunity to test the different background songs and see which one I can use and which one I cannot use. Today I totally scrapped the old playlist for the other type of music and replaced a new one, hoping that this one would actually be copyright free, but there's only one way to find out, I guess. I wanted to do one last thing, which is just some shadows over here, and I think we are golden. Let's make a couple of copies. Let's turn on the game overlay to make our test. Let's make the dedicated folder, and then let's apply the masks. 1 and number 2. Okay, let's see how well they look like when placed in the game. Number 1, and then number 2. Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. What do you think? I think it gives off the idea of being part of the god. I think we can officially declare this one completed. So far we've made 5 versions. Reaper of the Equinox, Uncle of the Harvest, Patriarch of the Sun, Painter of Winds, and today Lady of the Autumn Rot. We still have some little time left, so I guess we can dedicate this leftover time to start the next one. Let me create a new group just in case and pull up the Wheel of Fortune. There are only 2 left. The Steward of the Hoarfrost and the Niece of Blooming Fields. We'll see which one will appear. After we've done with these 2, for the main project there will be one last thing we'll need to do, which is design the 8th mask and do the appropriate supplicant. You're just so good, thank you. So, let me show you something real quick. It was I don't remember which one was it. I think this one. So, to give you more context, now it's taking a little bit to open because this is a very big Photoshop file, because it has a shit ton of layers. But basically what we are creating right now are the minions of... So basically this is the main god that will be present in this mod, and it's a god that changes masks, and as you change the masks you will be granted different powers and different abilities. And what we are doing right now are the minions of the following masks that we have designed in previous streams. So for instance, I'll show you the masks that we've done. Steward of the Hoarfrost, it's this mask over here. Lady of the Autumn Rot, the Niece of Blooming Fields, the Painter of Winds, the Uncle of the Harvest, the Patriarch of the Sun, and the Reaper of the Equinox. Faceless God looks so silly if you think about it. Yeah, it kind of does. So now we are doing the minion version of these ones. The ones that are left are the one for the Steward of the Hoarfrost and the one for the Niece of Blooming Fields. So we'll have these 2 left, and then we'll need to make an 8th mask similar to the ones over here and the respective minion. The reason we have a mask that we haven't done yet is because each mask is designed in the game by a different person, and we had a new person join on the project later. So his mask and minion will be doing it later after we finish with everything else. So let me bring out the Wheel of Fortune. There we go. We have 2 of them left. Let's see which one will be doing. And then the last one will be automatic. Everyone ready? Let's see which one will be chosen. Oh, 50-50 chance. And we are going to start with Steward of the Hoarfrost. Okay. Let's remove it. Let's save this one. Okay. This one should be quite simple to make. This is the ice one. It's a win-win, yeah. Because when I made the mask, the ice mask, it was pretty simple too. I think it will be equally simple for this one as well. So let's go back over here and let me, before we start drawing these sketches, I want to show you guys the references that we've had so far. So this is the mood board for the entire project, and for each mask I've gathered different references, which I've used them for both designing the main god itself and the minion. Right now we are going to do the ice one, which will follow these references more or less. It's some sort of a geometric ice type of situation. So I will be using for this minion these ones, which were the same references of the main god, and then these extra references that I pulled up, which are exclusively for this minion, because one main characteristic of this minion is that it's always a cloaked figure, because that's how it looks like in the vanilla game as well. So let's switch back over here to the Hoarfrost. Let's turn this one off. Let's make the background a bit lighter so it's easier to sketch. And now let me bring up the reference of the god we need to take inspiration from. Let me just find it real quick. In a moment. There we go. So this is the god in which we need to take inspiration from. So it will be a cloaked figure that follows these same elements. Let's leave it over here for the moment. Now, one thing that I want to do before anything else is try to establish a pose for this supplicant, because as you saw with the other ones, the poses change every time in order to make things look fresh, and we need to do the same thing over here. Maybe like the cloak could have frost or snow. Yeah, that one looks hard to replicate or simplify. For me, I don't think it would be. I simply need to apply this same effect on a cloaked figure. Right now I think I will let me see if I can find some interesting poses for this cloaked figure to be in. Let me check the ones that I made already real quick. So it's left, right, kinda right, left, right. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I think this time I'll make a more frontal view. That kinda looks directly at the camera, maybe. And then maybe that looks kinda down as well. Yeah, okay, let me check again. Okay. So maybe something like, okay, first, very rough sketch of the head, just to establish the direction. Or maybe something like, something like this. Let's make it a bit big, make it very low opacity. And then something like, right now I'm just making a general shape for the cape, or not the cape, the cloak. Then I will add occasional effects and textures later. I was thinking of something like, let me find some references. Yeah. Maybe something. I need to also make sure that the size is the same, more or less. Okay. Something like this, and then to add the different geometric elements. Now I'm still in a very experimental phase. Something like so. And then over here, maybe something like, let me try and use maybe the line tool, which I think can work a bit better. So something maybe something like this. Nah, looks very ugly. I want to make it like as if it's entirely made of stalactites and stalagmites, much like over here. So maybe something over here. And then for the cape itself, because this is the edges of the cape. But for over here, something like so, maybe, because I want to give it some how can I say it? Give it some sense of depth, like not make the image look too flat, especially since this one is a fully frontal view. So because it needs to be something like so. Because it needs to be something like so. So maybe something like maybe something like this. Right now it's a bit messy, but I hope you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to achieve. Let me separate the front area with the rest. Yeah, something like made of different jagged ice geometrical shapes. And then maybe here something like so, maybe. Not sure. Right now it doesn't look very good, but that's the nature of this sketch. I think it will look, it will give a better idea once I add the colors and shading. Because I don't need to be super precise with the sketch, because that's something that will be fixed, like over here with the colors. Like when I made all of these pointy ice spikes, I didn't draw them in detail with this sketch. I simply painted them directly. Yeah, and this is basically just it's all made of it's as if it's a golem made of ice, essentially. Yeah, let me see the size compared with the rest, how big it is, more or less. Yeah. Okay. Let's just warp it maybe a little bit. I think we can already, compared with the other version, in which we made a very rough sketch and then we made a new sketch on top of it with more details, I don't think it's as necessary over here. So I think I'll try and jump into the colors right away, even though if it turns out to be a mistake what I'm doing, we can always start over without any issues. We are not bound by any amount of time whatsoever. So what I think I'm going to do is create a new layer. Wait, I'll wait a little bit. Let me use the lasso tool just to roughly get the overall silhouette. Change some things where necessary. I mean, we can keep it like that. It's not really a problem right now. And now I I think we can already start with the colors. First I'll start with this general area and make it very, very dark, but not pitch black yet. Then for this one, let's make it a rather dark blue. And then start with the lighting. I think I'll make the light come directly from the top. I'm not sure why it's so slow. Maybe because it's so large. Here we can simply sample from our already existing god. And here we can already try to follow some shapes. And here we simply do something like this. And on top, we try and fill out the sketch. Pretty simple for now, nothing too crazy. I I think we can already maybe even color this sketch and make it dark blue. And here do something like so. Still very very rough, very approximate, but just to have a general idea on what to expect. You can already tell how the idea is coming together, even with these very rough brush strokes. Then of course, in the next stream for this project, which will be on Monday, we'll have more than enough time to slowly work this out. Then of course right now there will come a point where the sketch will be a detriment more than anything, but in this case in particular it's useful for this initial sketching part of the colors. Then as we continue adding on, we'll have to gradually remove the sketch when it's no longer necessary. But the reason we didn't make a more detailed sketch earlier is because for something so irregular, I don't think we really needed one. We save and see before and after. It's already a big difference. There we go. Let's check with the values. It's okay, but it can be better. There we go. Now with the complete darkness, kinda gives that idea. Let's try maybe with a rougher, like a more hard brush for doing this sort of shapes. Maybe a square one. Or maybe there we go. Still in very early stages, but I think the direction is the right one. Okay. Okay, we are slowly getting there, but I think this can be a good stopping point. I don't want to add too much. I think it's best if I continue this one on Monday with a fresher mind, and I think we'll be able to finish this one in the Monday stream as well. These characters we've been making, they've been done in quite a fast way, usually taking 1 or 1.5 streams per character. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how the results turned out until now. So, what can I say? Big progress today. We finished one version, started another, just like with most streams of this particular project. And we simply move on. There's not much else to say. It's all a matter of patience, see what works, see what doesn't, learn from our mistakes, and most importantly, have fun while doing all of this. I really cannot wait to see the final results. After these ones are completed, just like I've done with so loud. Okay, just like what I've done with the main gods, I will then upload the files for the modding team to use them for the actual mod. Still not sure when the mod is going to be playable on the Steam Workshop, but it will eventually happen. So tomorrow there will be the yet another stream, but for those who are new to the channel, the streams on Saturday will be at 3 p.m. instead of 8:30 p.m. So tomorrow it will be 3 p.m. CET time, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to make sure to know when the stream is going to happen, you can either check the schedule present on both the YouTube and the Twitch channel, or if you go to the Twitch page in the About Me page of the channel, there is a countdown, which is the countdown of how much time is left before the next stream, so you can be 100% sure when the next one is going to be. Tomorrow we are going to continue our drawing on our lovely girl with the mouth. I think it will be a very chill stream to start off with the weekend. I'm really happy to have new people joining the stream, and just a reminder, since we talked about this earlier, if by watching the YouTube shorts, which they are also present on Instagram and TikTok, if you want to follow those, but it's the same content. If you want me to talk about a specific topic, that maybe you have some difficulties with a specific element or a specific technique, you want to know a specific tip or trick, feel free to say it in the comments of the latest YouTube short, and I will gladly address it and dedicate a video about it. It will be beneficial for both me and you guys, because I will have more content to make, more videos, more topics to talk about, and you guys can have an insight of my drawing process and maybe learn something new. Either way, I'm really excited at the direction this channel is going so far. Very, very positive. I wish I started all of this a bit sooner, but nonetheless, better now than never. So, I will see you guys tomorrow with the other drawing, and then on Monday we'll continue with this one that we started today. What can I say? Let's start the weekend with a good chill stream tomorrow. As always, this has been the Void Executive, and we'll meet each other next time tomorrow. Have a good night everyone, and stay safe.